himself, but he wanted to make it for everyone else. He always wanted to understand the art of cooking. It's so amazing that he didn't go to, actually school for that. But, he was the school in the house. He made pies, he made cakes. And then when he make them, he wanted to make sure his coworkers actually indulged in it too. So he would make it for us, but he would always make it for his colleagues as well. He was always sharing, always doing that, and make sure that we understood how to cook, and we understood that this is something that is meaningful for everybody to be able to indulge in. He literally, in our home, made sure that understanding the word breaking bread, like the word always says, it's like he broke bread before us. And, he said, listen, share, 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 always share with somebody, because there's somebody out there that doesn't have food on the plate, don't have food on the table, food in the house. And we grew up in a community we were middle class, but at the same time, when we went to school, there were people that were literally in poverty and they didn't have much. But because he taught us how to give, I always was that person, like, you know what? I want to give to my amazing people that I went to school that didn't have enough. And I would do it secretly and just pass them something like, you know what, my dad, he made enough, I want to share with you. And that was just like that always when it comes to those things. And he was a man of few words. He didn't really have a whole full conversation, but when he made statements, they were powerful and he meant it. And it was always sold in love, and he would just always teach us those things. And then I had an older brother. He was different age than me, of course. He was older. He just really reared him just as a man should really, a young man. He was always saying, listen, this is probably something that you want to do and you will probably adapt. He's always saying, be nice and be humble and always be respectful. He was always giving those things just a little bit at a time. And we always knew that, truly, I think about it, it's like, gosh, he truly was angel. He was truly angel on earth, honestly, and really wanted us to understand that. And he said, God is the root of everything. If anything happens, understand that God will never leave you. He will never forsake you. And you will always take that with you. So I will always remember that. My dad was awesome.
Sure oh was. My gosh. That's really inspiring. That's really inspiring. Besides what he left with you in your heart to continue to be just giving, paying it forward is what I'm hearing with the breaking of the bread. But then that mentoring, that teaching, and that stoicness of a man of few words, but when he spoke, they mattered. Wow. And you said he was a foodie. I'm going to go back a little bit here. What was he known for cooking? Did he cook a good breakfast? Did he cook a good barbecue? All of the above. Let's hear it.
Oh gosh, when you said all those things, I still remember about that. My dad was such a rebel. He was so amazing at the barbecue grill. Literally, mind you, I grew up in Michigan, of course, in Detroit, and we have all 4 seasons. So, in the wintertime, usually most people will just probably not do a lot of barbecuing outside. Not my family. We had a shed, right behind our house. And, my dad said, oh, we have an amazing place right here. We can still barbecue on the shed. Let's barbecue real quick and we can go in the house with the ribs. And I said, but Dad, it's really cold outside. He said, that's okay. I'll be out here. Make sure to toss those ribs. We had the barbecue, old fashioned barbecue grill with the charcoal, you know what I'm saying? And he would just make sure, things were done that way. He would always make sure things were evenly done and evenly cooked and all those things. He nurtured those things. And he just always had made his homemade sauce. He was all about being an entrepreneur, even at that age. He would make his homemade sauce and make sure that was complete in the house as well too. And then we had he loved food. He would create amazing meal, taught us how to cook, but he made amazing meals, so he will always, always make sure that we understood how he cooked. And he was known for pound cake. He made homemade pound cake, made homemade glaze, and made those things, sliced it up, and he would always make sure to package those up. And he was a great entrepreneur as well too. He would tell us how we can sell those. He said, listen, I'm taking these to my colleagues at work and I want to make sure they eat it complimentary, but at the same time, if they want me to bake something for them, this is pretty much how I will, tell them the prices of how we would make those things so they can pay for the products and things like that. I mean, my dad was teaching us that at a young age, just being an entrepreneur and the things that you know how to do. And I said, wow, I feel that's really how Jesus was. Jesus was always telling us how to be an entrepreneur, how to have that mindset, to be able to, really bring those things into the home, into the marketplace. So I will never forget that.
Oh, wow. It brings to mind that famous quote, teach a man, give a man a fish, you feed his family, and then teach a man how to fish. He could, I messed it up.
No, that was perfect. Yeah, teach a man how to fish is more profitable in anything versus just giving them the fish. Teach them how to do it themselves, and actually, and then they can continue to do it, and versus just feeding them it by itself. Okay, you feed them first, but teach them how they can do it on their own first as well too, so they can continue to multiply that particular art, with anybody else. So, gosh, it's truly amazing.
And that's what it sounds like when you're describing your father's ways. That's what it sounds like. Now, I'm going to backtrack a little bit to that barbecue sauce and
Yes.
that pound cake. Do you have the recipes?
Oh, yes. So that's so funny you say that. I had to remember those recipes, like really the pound cakes and the sauce, because, it was an art how he did it. And he did it a certain way, like with definitely he had some vinegars, and he had made sure, the certain sauce you could have the
Was it a
spicy.
secret sauce? Was
Yes,
there a
yes.
secret?
Yes, and then mystique and stars, and I remember those things. So I remember that those are things you can do, like only barbecue chicken, and you can always have it, and really be able to cultivate those things. I was just like, wow, I remember those things. So yeah, I remember he was always in the kitchen when it came to that, but he always shared those gifts too with anybody else that wanted to know it. So yeah, I'll
That's
never forget
great.
that.
That's
Mhm.
great. Those are staples in your house, I'm imagining.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, feeling good here, thinking about all the good stuff your father was known for. What, what, what brings a smile to your face? Whether it's heartwarming or something that just cracks you up because it's just a funny memory. And I'm sure there's lots of them, but is there one that you just always comes back?
Wow, when you say that, it's so funny when I think about my life today. My dad, he was big on it's not only just going into church, but he wanted us to understand the different gifts of the Lord. So he went to ministerial school. I remember he went, and then my mom went, after him. So I remember that going through that. I did not want to go because everybody seemed like everybody was going. And I said, I do not want to be in the four walls doing this, but I'd rather go on to do something else, maybe like evangelism did, but I do not want to go on the four walls. So I literally said, I'm not going. And looking at my life today, and I feel like he literally is laughing right now because he just like, you said you wasn't going to do it, but you're doing it now. And I said, gosh, I am really doing what you told me that I was going to do, and I just feel like just even in the different platforms that we're in together, in a platform is called the Lemonade Stand for people that may be listening. And then the platform House Creativity. I feel like I'm doing exactly what I was called to do, just really, in speaking and just really curating rooms and mentoring and, those things in mental health. And then when I'm writing my books, I'm talking with that and being able to speak on mental health and things of that nature. That is still my ministry. So I'm still doing those things, and I'm still able to operate in those gifts that I was, taught very, very young, because I already knew how to do it and began to cultivate that. I just never wanted to. But me running from something, you can't run away from God when that gives you a gift. You have to go ahead and accept it. So I finally accepted the calling and definitely now being in ministry. And I'm so happy about it, Patty.
Wow. Well, you kind of answered my next question, but I would like to hear a little bit more in depth, if we can. Are you living your legacy, and is your father proud?
Yes, I am so living my legacy. Just being able to, walk, and begin to talk about, loving yourself and being free from different attributes of challenges. I've seen so much, that can be, hold things up, but then to be able to get answers and relieve, others, and how to understand that you can still persevere when things happen. You can still fly, and when you feel like you've shut down. And just I feel that way in my books and things of that nature. I'm able to show others how they can continue to elevate, and you don't have to stay down, and understand that you can still thrive and win. And I'm so happy about it. I laugh and I smile, and I have a smile on my face. And when I wake up, I have that smile on my face because I'm really making a difference, in the world today. And I'm so happy about that. Have a great family. Have a great friends. I got more friends and more family members that I never knew I could have before. It just continued on. And when honestly, I truly am living, I feel like I'm on cloud nine every day. I really have a great legacy, a really great life, and I'm so happy about it.
I'm just, I'm excited to hear the testimony. I am excited to hear the testimony. And with that being said, I feel like, you know what, the the legacy that you're living is definitely influenced by your father, clearly, because it's almost, like a, I don't want to say new and improved, because nobody could be better than what you just said, but just a different version, right? A new version, just as good. But it's just really exciting to see the influence that your dear dad had on you, and that you're continuing that journey, and that you feel good about it. And again, this is the Legacy Show, where we tribute, cope, and share. And although, missing our loved ones is not easy, and it can be heavy hearted, like, this weekend we had Father's Day, and we miss them. We miss them. But when we remember the good, it right, it overshadows it,
Yeah.
it really, it's a magnitude of just beautiful memories and legacies and teachings and mentoring, and all that lives on forever. And for that, I am thankful, and I'm so thankful that you joined us here in the Legacy Show. Lakeisha, where can we find you? What are you doing these days where we can find you and follow you? Please share.
Absolutely. Definitely, you can follow me on all social media platforms. I have the Lakeisha Mosley Show, and I have definitely a show where it's amazing show on Sundays, which is called the Gospel Hour. Definitely, that's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday nights, and where we break bread, great conversations, mentorships, and conversations on understanding your platforms, understanding your purpose, prayers and testimonials, and breaking bread, have amazing conversations about gospel news. And it's so exciting for us to connect with each other. And you can find me on definitely all of socials. I have my link tree. Definitely connect with me, which is called Freedom to Win. And also you can connect with me in my bookstores, where definitely that link is there too, as well too. And definitely you can always send me an email at the Lakeisha Mosley Show at mail.com for any more information as far as being featured on my gospel show as well on Sundays. So that's always available as well too. And it's a blessing moving forward.
Wow, that's great. Again, this is Lakeisha Mosley. Check her out. Go to all the socials. I know she's everywhere because I'm friends with her. Again, for being a guest on our show, we are going to send you a journal. And guess what? This journal, you might not be an artist, and that's okay, because it's not limited to drawing, but there's no lines, because that's how the imagination is. There's no lines, there's no boundaries. When you have an imagination, you write on blank pages. Okay, if you want to draw, you draw. If you want to write a shopping list, you write a shopping list. But this is intentionally a line free live your legacy journal. This is a little journal that, again, if you want to write to your a diary, write a shopping list, draw a visual picture. What can I tell you? That's how we roll here in the Legacy Show. So you will get the journal. and a pen for a thank you gift, a little swag bag. And I also want to say thank you for joining us here in the Legacy Show. You know how to bust that tambourine. Okay, you know, what can I tell you? That's Patty for you. Again, this is the Legacy Show here on the Pick TV network. We are so thankful that we had our special guest, Lakeisha Mosley, share the legacy of her amazing dad. And again, could you say his name properly so I don't mess it up?
Absolutely. My dad's name is Albert Owen Moore.
Albert Owen Moore. And you know what? He has an amazing daughter. And I know in my heart, in my knower, that he is proud, because I'm proud just to be a friend. What can I tell you? So that's exciting. And again, thank you for joining us here in the Pick TV network. You could view us here on Tuesday nights. And again, thank you for joining us. Lakeisha, any final thoughts?
Absolutely. I'm so thankful for you having me. Definitely looking forward to next time. Definitely looking forward to each and every person here, and just want everybody to understand that you truly have a purpose and you truly have something within you that needs to be shared. Don't give up. Don't quit. Always move forward in your purpose beyond.
Thank you so much. Again, this is the Legacy Show on Pick TV Network. And Dr. David is the president of this and CEO of the Pick TV Network. And this is the Legacy Show, where we tribute, cope, and share when you miss somebody that passed away. And the whole purpose is to leave feeling good, because their legacies do live on forever. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. Dr. David, over to you.
What is this? It's kind of light. All my body starts to shiver. Worries when I'm on a high. Oh, I've never felt like this before. Got to let it go.
When you move abroad, there are some things you can't take with you. But there are some things you just can't leave behind. For international health insurance,